NTA International News.
New envoys present letters of credence to President Jonathan. Get assurances of Nigeria's indivisibility. Day of Arafat, Muslims the world over converge on Saudi Arabia with global peace at heart as correspondent brings to fore virtues of ritual. And reflections, lessons and applause trail Nigeria at 54. Welcome to news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. I am Tekimbi Manyam. The need for global peace and for Muslims to live according to the tenets of Islam was the focus of this year's Arafat Day sermon by the Chief Imam of Saudi Arabia, Imam Abdulaziz Bunu Abdallah. Musa Baba Aliu has more.
The revelation of verse 3 of Surah Al-Ma'idah chapter 5 of the Holy Quran signifies the importance of Arafat Day to Islam and Muslims. The day, which is the 9th of the 12th month of Islamic calendar, 90 days after Ramadan. On that day, Muslims are expected to be on the plain of Mount of Arafat in fulfillment of the most important Hajj rituals. Chief Imam of Saudi Arabia, Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Abdullah, urged Muslims to be at the vanguard of global peace and shun violence. The Chief Imam therefore appealed to parents to ensure proper upbringing of their children according to Islamic teachings.
Your pilgrimage is incomplete without the attendance of the congregation on Arafat Day. Arafat is the most important day of pilgrimage. And
for those not opportune to be on Hajj, they are encouraged to observe the day fasting and performing acts of charity.
Not an obligatory, but it is highly recommended to fast on the day of Arafat. And secondly, remembrance of Allah is not only on the day of Arafat, it's 24/7 and 12 months in a year. We should remember Allah all the time.
This year's Arafat Day is special to Muslims as it falls on Friday.
And for Arafat to coincide with this great day, Friday, is something really, really, really blissful. And I hope that Muslims will take advantage of these double advantages.
On the 10th of Zulhijjah, after Arafat, is the day of Eid al-Kabir. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Jonathan has congratulated all Muslim faithful as they celebrate this year's Eid al-Kabir. In his salam message, the president congratulated all believers who have successfully undertaken the Hajj this year as enjoined by Prophet Muhammad as they conclude the rites of the Hajj and prepare to return home. He urged all Nigerians to join them in offering special prayers for greater security, peace, unity, and progress in Nigeria. To political leaders in the country, he told them to rise above an edifying and patriotic and selfish interest in the coming elections. He also enjoined Nigerians to rededicate and commit themselves to the Holy Prophet's injunctions of piety, honesty, charity, and generosity to the less privileged, impartial leadership, and true justice for all. Communication practitioners have been told to explore relevant techniques for the dissemination of information to the understanding of the target audience. The Primate Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion Metropolitan Archbishop Nicholas Oko gave the charge at the 6th Diocesan Communicators Conference in Abuja. Correspondent Joseph Orok completes the story.
Since communication is a two-way process, it becomes imperative that practitioners acquire and use better skills for effective delivery. This is why the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion annually gather managers of its communication departments to sharpen their skills. Primates of the Church, Metropolitan Archbishop Nicholas Oko, stressed the need for communicators to always use simple, clear languages devoid of jargons.
Saying what you want to say is the essence of communicating, and that you are passing a message to the next person and is able to understand what you have to say and is able to act appropriately.
Venerable Folucio Taiwo, Director of Communication, Church of Anglican Communion, Abuja, enjoins participants to use their God-given talents judiciously to the benefit of mankind and the society.
The issue of training is key for us.
Yes.
This conference has emphasized the importance of self-development. Communication technology has gone, is dynamic, so we have been exposed to new skills.
The 3-day conference, which was on the theme, the assistant communicator, not an honorary title, had papers presentation on Nigerian media law, Freedom of Information Acts, law of sedition, defamation, libel, and copyright. Joseph Orok, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has assured the international community that Nigeria will remain politically stable and united after the 2015 general elections. The president gave the assurance while meeting with the new ambassadors of Spain, Finland, Ireland, and Ghana, who presented him with their letters of credence at the presidential villa. State House correspondent Shegun Lawole reports.
President Jonathan, while receiving letters of credence from the new ambassadors, reiterated his administration's commitment to ensuring that the 2015 elections are free, fair, and credible as they can possibly be, as he recalled international commendations received by the country for the conduct of the 2011 general elections. President Jonathan urged the new ambassadors of Spain, Finland, Ireland, and Ghana to strive to further enhance trade and economic relations between Nigeria and their respective countries. The new ambassadors promised to do their utmost best to strengthen bilateral relations between their countries and Nigeria during their tenure in Abuja, as they thanked the president for the reception. President Jonathan also presided over the Security Council meeting for update on the ongoing efforts of the federal government to end insurgent attacks in the country. The meeting enables members of the Security Council to deliberate on a regular basis and review the operations of the various security outfits in the country. In the State House, Shegun Lawole, NTA News.
Now to issues of independence. Minister of Interior Abba Moro says Nigeria at 54 calls for celebration because it has continued to remain as one indivisible entity despite all odds. He stated this in Washington, D.C. at a dinner organized by the Nigerian Embassy to commemorate the nation's independence. Adeyemi Omojola Fatoba has the details.
The Minister of Interior, Abba Moro, who acknowledged that there are challenges facing the country, one of which is insurgency, said Nigerians should be proud of the fact that the federal government has been tackling the menace headlong. He said Nigeria under President Goodluck Jonathan has recorded infrastructural, educational and economic development, as well as the good news that Nigeria is Ebola-free in the wake of Ebola virus disease outbreak in West Africa.
Today, under the watch of our president, Nigeria is a land of opportunities and hope. Hope in the belief that together, Nigerians both at home and in diaspora can do great things and lift Nigeria to the level of the expectations of all Nigerians and lovers of Nigeria.
Head Nigerian Desk, United States Department, Ambassador Stephen Schwartz said Nigeria remains important not only because of the strategic partnership it has with the United States, but that it has steadily maintained growth in all areas.
It's also a country that has the ability to influence global peace and security. It's sitting on the UN Security Council for the 5th time and playing an important role. It also reaches out culturally with Nollywood producing more films than any other film capital in the world, including Hollywood.
Nigerian ambassador to the United States, Professor Ade Adefuye, said Nigeria at 54 is a victorious country.
On the principle of the indivisibility is the continued corporate existence and increasing strength of the entity known as the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Washington, D.C., Adeyemi Omojola Fatoba, NTA News.
Still related to independence, Nigerians have applauded the efforts of government towards putting to rest insurgency in the country. This formed part of views from a cross-section of respondents who commented on President Jonathan's independence speech describing it as reassuring. Oku Ekpenyong reports.
Security issues seem to be uppermost in the minds of a cross-section of respondents who spoke in glowing terms about the resilience of government to tackle insurgency and maintain Nigeria's unity.
You see, anybody who you are fighting and who that person tell you is not ready to fight you, I think if you are a reasonable person, you have to subside down and at least listen to him. So I think for the president to now say, okay, look, let them bring whatever they want on the table. Let's iron it out. I think it's at least a step forward.
Well, on the issue of security, having known Nigeria is a plural society, he has promised and reiterated that he's going to fight this insecurity and fight it to a halt.
The issue of security has a modus of operandi. So attending to it obviously is a critical component of the president's agenda. And I think he did capture the mood correctly when he said that we are making progress in the war against insurgency.
Some Nigerians were also full of hope for a free and fair poll in the country, noting that the statement of government to urge the umpire of elections in Nigeria to consolidate on the gains of recent elections is reassuring.
As concerning 2015 election, the president has thrown it open, giving the various institutions to do what they ought to do. And I think he's a Democrat. By his speech, I for once am reassured that Nigeria is on the right track.
Voter education, voter enlightenment is a critical component of that success story, which we anticipate in 2015.
The respondents also commended the administration's commitment to making the country a safe place for all, irrespective of place of birth, religion, or political affiliations, as comforting, describing it as a boost to strengthen Nigeria's unity in diversity. In Abuja, Oku Ekpenyong, NTA News.
And more encomiums from Nigerians as they reflect on their country's 54th year of self-rule. Deborah Brooksley Sunday reports that stakeholders are of the view that in spite of challenges, the present administration has made a mark in the Nigerian project. The report.
A society can only progress when its people are guided by the spirit of love and sincerity. Hence, the need to embrace peace and harmonious coexistence. Constitutional lawyer Oji Nwafo Orizu says, the present administration has done well to remove the country from its setbacks.
The military era was not good for us. It slowed our development. That's why we're now begging that the military never comes back to power.
God bless Jonathan. For the first time in the history of this country, proper transformation is coming. It's online. We have keyed up. We are joining forces with him.
On the level of accountability, Ambassador Franklin Okoye applauds the system of transparency of the present administration.
He opened our eyes. We never knew so much money was going to the states and different places until this time. Okonjo-Iweala forged ahead. Now she publishes whatever is given to people, to governments. People now know, even though we may not do much, but at least we know what is coming to us.
They, however, advised President Goodluck Jonathan to remain focused despite the security challenges, which seem to be a distraction to the nation's drive to greatness. Adebola Brooksley Sunday, NTA News.
Still on independence, the provision of accessible and affordable healthcare services on a sustainable basis in any country is an important obligation of government and the fundamental right of citizens. As the nation turns 54, the successes recorded in curtailing the deadly Ebola virus disease, which claimed the lives of 8 persons in Nigeria, is no doubt a significant reference point in evaluating the health sector. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah takes it up from here.
Nigeria over the years has tried and is still trying to meet the World Health Organization objective of attaining better health for all and promote health, human dignity and enhance quality of life. Despite all efforts by the Nigerian government in meeting this goal, increased number of disease burden, outbreaks, maternal and infant mortality is being recorded in rural communities where the primary health care centers ought to function effectively.
Let me tell you that we have 215 primary health care centers, for example, in FCT, but we have only 12 general hospitals and 2 teaching hospitals in Abuja. You can see the disparity. While the general hospital and the teaching hospital are working to the maximum capacity, while the primary health care center is at the mercy of the local government.
Perhaps one of the steps to reverse the trend by Nigeria is giving greater consideration to primary health care when making health policies. Though these facilities to some extent have been serving, but on visiting Karu and Garki primary health care centers in the FCT, some of the users believe government has to do more, such as expanding the facilities to accommodate more patients, as well as provide essential drugs.
Yes, we know that the government is going to give us, but sometimes when you go to the municipal, you can't get the drugs. That's that.
So, and then many people are now bringing their children for immunization into clinic. Our old antigen are available, not out of stock. That's the most important, and that's also kudos to national primary care.
Nigerian government has shown commitment to improving and strengthening the overall health care system, and Saving 1 Million Lives initiative is an elaborate scheme to expand access to essential primary health care services, especially for women and children by 2015. One issue stakeholders are worried about is not the implementation of programs, but the sustainability, just like the Midwife Service Scheme, MSS, Community Health Extension Workers, CHU program, and the HIV/AIDS program.
Any woman coming for antenatal must get HIV and AIDS tests from all primary health care centers. So we're not talking about denying the service. We are talking about not even assessing these services.
Dr. Rilwan Muhammad says the most important thing in the primary health care facility is the manpower to man it. However, the referral system has improved significantly. In Abuja, Aisha Oba Ali, NTA News.
Sorry, that report was by Aisha Oba Ali. This is news reaching you from NTA International, Abuja, Nigeria. Coming up to the break, Nigeria's First Lady inducted as Grand Patron as group declares support for President Goodluck Jonathan in 2015 presidential poll. Umbrella body for members of Fourth Estate of the Realm in Nigeria extol transformation policy of government to touch lives. Details shortly.
Ensure the reconstruction of the Abuja Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicates that our trains at
Koweto Bridge in the North Central are in progress thanks to Shopee.
Program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities, and through its various training programs for young people, guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
Thanks for staying with us. A non-governmental organization, the Progressive Friends Foundation, has declared support for President Goodluck Jonathan to contest the 2015 presidential election. The members of the organization have also inducted the First Lady, Dame Patience Johnson. State House Akut Simon Macham has the details.
The Progressive Friends Foundation is a non-governmental organization comprising of members from different backgrounds across the nation. Their objective is to build and democratic governance. According to its chairman, Aseminaso Ningerafaka, the nation has watched with keen interest the achievements of President Goodluck Jonathan in transforming
of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is doing. We decided that the PDP is where we have seen good governance.
The organization, the First Lady Dempsey John as its grand patron, stating that she has done so much for Nigerian women, children, and the underprivileged in every available.
Again, urge you to continue to be the pillar of support that you have a lot to learn from the humanity and godly nature of our dear President, Dr. Let us add our voices to the passionate call for peace in our world, because there can be no development.
Abuja, I am Makut Simon Machan, NTA News.
The leadership of the Nigerian Army is unrelenting to purge itself of any act of indiscipline capable of distracting her attention from counter-terrorism campaign in the north. This is why the service is an 8-man member of the General Court Martial for the trial of some accused officers and soldiers at the Army Headquarters Garrison, Abuja. Correspondent Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports.
Why the dust raised over the death sentence passed on 12 soldiers for mutiny is yet to settle, the Nigerian Army is into another court-martial. This time, it has inaugurated an 8-man general court-martial conducted by a judge advocate left. The president of the General Court-Martial, Brigadier General Muhammad Saleh Yusuf, and members are to commence the trial of 15 officers and 82 soldiers. The officers and soldiers are charged assault, housebreaking, absence without leave, and service indiscipline. The president promised that the General Court-Martial will be guided by the principle of fair hearing and justice.
We are going to listen cautiously, we are going to answer wisely, we consider soberly, and in deciding we are going to be very, very impartial.
The lead counsel to the accused soldiers, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, promised to defend the cause of justice at no cost. The president of the General Court-Martial promised to conduct and conclude this case without undue delay to prevent the accused from suffering psychological trauma often associated with protracted litigations, as justice delayed is justice denied. From the Army Headquarters Garrison, Abuja, Muhammad Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists has commended the transformation agenda of President Jonathan, which is touching many lives, including the support for the NUJ housing estate in Abuja. The national president of the NUJ, Mohammed Garba, on inspection of the housing project says the first phase will be completed by December 2015. Correspondent Emmanuel Ahimiro tells us more.
The NUJ housing project, which started about a year ago, is to provide relief to journalists who are confronted with housing challenges.
Our intention is to achieve 290 houses. So it depends on your capacity, it depends on your interest, and it depends on your commitment.
The project, which is mortgage financing, is expected to occupy about 29 hectares of land when fully completed. It is planned to provide accommodation for different categories of persons depending on subscription pattern.
Still, those who don't have the capacity for the 3-bedroom can subscribe to the 2-bedroom or even the 1-bedroom.
Our target is 290 houses, but this first 50 is not even 50 because it's almost 70 already. But 50 is what I will hand over the key to NUJ by first week of December.
I'm shocked at what I've seen here, the quality of the buildings and all that. So I think they should try and sensitize more people so that they can come into the scheme.
The NUJ president, Mohammed Garba, wants members to fully subscribe to the project to enable more units to be constructed, as opportunity for subscription is still open. The housing project is located at Kuyami district near Aviation Village. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Now to business news. Nigeria and Japan signs 2.8 billion naira pact to boost health and education in Nigeria. And Venezuelan economy shows signs of contraction as inflation rises above 60%. Plus, life goes on for Iraqi people despite increasing violence. Details with Muplang Dakok.
The federal government and Japan have signed a 2.88 billion naira aid agreement of $4.1 million to support the health sector and $13.2 million for the education sector in Nigeria. The Japanese health support is to equip hospitals in the country with medical facilities produced in Japan, while the education intervention is expected to aid the construction of 261 classrooms and other school facilities in 36 schools in the country. Concern has grown for Venezuela's economy as empty shop shelves, stalled construction projects, and a deep industry indicate signs of contracted economy. Reports say a lack of US dollars due to strict currency controls has led to shortage of nearly a third of basic needs. And in Iraq, business seems to be dwindling as economic experts say business this Eid is already a lot below that of last year. As the world is set for the Eid al-Kabir, most Iraqis are afraid to go out shopping because of the incessant bombings. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
From business news to sports, high spirit in camp as Super Falcons prepare for 2014 African Women Championship. Plus, world #1 Serena Williams pulls out of a second consecutive tournament due to injury. Kene Mobudiko has more on Sports Update.
Preparatory to the forthcoming 2014 African Women Championships billed for Namibia, October 11 to 25, the Abuja camp of Nigeria Super Falcons has been boosted by the arrival of foreign-based players, some of whom have been talking tough. Coach Edwin Akon is working on all details to ensure that the team secures a record 8th title in the championship's history.
Every country that is not tournament is good. If you're not good, you won't be there. So whoever Nigeria faces is a good country. We just have to work hard and see how we come out of it.
Nigeria's grip at the summit of African Scrabble may be threatened if the recent performance of the Scrabble players from other African countries at the 8th Godswill Akpabio International Classic in Oyo, Akwa Ibom State is anything to go by. Kenya's Alan Oyende broke into the top 10 of the competition, coming in as number 6, which used to be an exclusive preserve for Nigerians.
This is a wake-up call for our master players to know that as much as they think they know it, others know it also and are working towards, in improving themselves, so they need to work harder.
The Scrabblers now head to South Africa on the 22nd of this month for the African Nations Championship. And there are growing concerns over world #1 Serena Williams' fitness for the WTA Tour Finals, which start on October 17 as she withdrew from the ongoing China Open ahead of her quarterfinal on Friday because of a left knee injury. It is the second tournament in a row the 33-year-old has pulled out of after she fell ill in her first set at the Wuhan Open in China last week. With Sports Update, Kenayima Burike, NTA News.
Sports update to weather update. And the weather update is next, and highlight is on major cities' temperatures in Nigeria and the world. And that's it on the news. Thanks for watching.